So there's a semi-official term in marketing that we call prosumer. So especially if you are a product person, you'll sometimes hear this.
Or business writing skills.
Doesn't simply mean a hybrid product. Oh, I get it. It's between a consumer product and a professional product, and it sort of combines both things, and therefore it's a hybrid product, right? Not really. When you think about a hybrid product typically, let's say you've got two products, both of them are in the consumer products category, and it's sort of trying to be the best of both worlds into one, right? So that's kind of a hybrid product. To put it very simply, a prosumer product is a product that is designed for consumers, but it has professional features. This is for that really, really discerning consumer that is not a professional user, but wants close to professional user quality. So up until about 10 years ago, Mercedes-Benz used to market a car which was, at least in my opinion, a supercar, and it was called the Mercedes SLS. And it really was a phenomenal looking machine. It had the classic gull wing doors, incredible performance. By the way, these examples, these are marketing examples for this topic of prosumer. I'm not doing product reviews here, so I'm not getting into details. But this was a really fancy car. So what Mercedes-Benz did, I think around 2014, 2015, they discontinued the SLS and they replaced it with the GT. There's a big difference between the Mercedes-Benz GTS and the Mercedes-Benz SLS. And the big difference is that this is not a supercar. This is actually an example of a prosumer car. So this is basically, now these are my words. Once again, I swear, Mercedes-Benz owes me a ton of money. I'm always promoting their products and I get nothing for it. But in my own words, this is what I call a drivable race car. See, one of the problems with the SLS, the previous one, because it was essentially a supercar, this is not the type of car that you can drive on a daily basis. And it's not the kind of car that's actually that easy to drive, by the way. What the GTS does is that it replaces it as a drivable race car. Now, how many people are going to take this to the supermarket to go grocery shopping? I have no idea. But with the GTS, you actually can do that. And you can drive the GTS very comfortably. That's what the beauty of this new car is. Here's another example for you. Sony, as you know, has always been a pioneer in electronics. Sony still does a lot of different products that are very high quality. So when you look at camcorders, for example, Sony does a really nice job with camcorders, and they always have for a long time, by the way. So if you look at this particular camcorder, this is a camcorder that you can buy at Best Buy, for example. It's a really nice 4K camcorder. This is a consumer product, by the way. I'm just using this as a contrast. Sony also does prosumer products. So if you look at this particular camcorder here, you'll notice that this is a lot more complicated than the camera that I just showed you that you can buy at Best Buy. And this one you can't buy at Best Buy. So this is someone that is a consumer that has the money for this and really wants a near professional experience. Now, and by the way, I know nowadays, filmmakers, shoot movies on iPhones, but that's more of a niche thing. So would Steven Spielberg or Martin Scorsese use this camera to shoot their next film? Probably not. They would most likely use one of these types of Sony cameras, okay? So this is Sony's professional category, where these are genuine 35 millimeter cameras. If you are relatively well off and you really want that super high quality experience, you want something better than the best Sony camera that Best Buy sells, well, this is exactly for you. There's a company that doesn't really get enough attention, and it's a really interesting company. I've known about it for a while only because I like German products, and I really hope I'm pronouncing this correctly. I think I am. I believe it's pronounced Miele. So Miele does appliances, etc. They do mainly, like hard goods. So this is actually a consumer product that Miele does. When it comes to Miele, because they're a really high quality company, they do their consumer products this way. It's a refrigerator freezer together. And this is probably one of their most modest, this is probably their entry point product. This is a standard consumer product. But if you wanted to buy Miele's prosumer products, you can, but it's really interesting because at the prosumer level, what Miele does is that they sell the refrigerator separately from the freezer. Now, whether you're doing a custom installation in a really large house, or whether you're not even doing a custom installation, but you just want to renovate your kitchen appliances, if you want Miele's prosumer level, you actually are going to buy these two products separately. You may put them right next to each other, but they're separate products. So it's really interesting how, you know, you buy the refrigerator and it's just a refrigerator, and then you buy the freezer, and again, it's just a freezer. If you put them together, do they look good? Sure they do, but you can also keep them apart, which is really interesting. And then lastly, I actually wanted to talk about a Mac. So most of us don't really need a Mac Pro. So please don't confuse this with a MacBook Pro, right? So I'm not talking about laptops right now. In the desktop arena, there are lots of companies that will use iMacs for their employees, for their creative employees, etc. And you can get iMacs that are just unbelievably phenomenal, as you know, right? So, but when you look at the difference between an iMac and a Mac Pro, you all of a sudden start to see, wow, there are some stark differences here in a lot of key areas. And it's not just about the specs. The specs are part of it, but when it comes to a Mac Pro, it's also the, you know, the buildability of it. A Mac Pro is actually a prosumer product. And most companies, even for their most talented creative teams, they don't necessarily need a Mac Pro. They would just really, you know, buy them a high-powered iMac. Or for your own personal use, you know, you'd probably buy a really high-powered iMac, not necessarily a Mac Pro, if you just want to get good performance out of a good Mac desktop. So who buys the Mac Pro? The person that really wants and needs that super high computing power that is essentially professional grade and gets just about as good as it gets, but is also accessible to me and you. So I hope this was helpful for you, and now you know what a prosumer product is, and you know the differences between consumer products, professional products, and where prosumer products hit that really nice sweet spot.
So send me your comments and questions, and each week you'll get a chance to win a copy of one of my books, your choice, either my book on presentation skills or business writing skills.